Blessed day, saints. Welcome once again. Today we're speaking on disloyalty. By definition, this is perfidy or treachery. We could just say it is infidelity. That is the quality of not being loyal to somebody that has given you their trust, or a course of action that you must focus on. It also could just be the loss of first love, something that you invested your energies in and something that tickled your fancy in so much that you spent your time in there or your resources in there, but the fires died down, you're no longer in there, and you start exhibiting traits of showing that you are no longer there. Disloyalty is not without cause, inasmuch as it has its own signs. It has causes, and also it has got consequences. So we'll touch on three: the causes of it, the signs of it, and also the consequences of it, in so much that you will not wallow in sadness or in tears. You will not have a heartache. Why did somebody that I invested so much of my time and energy in backbite me or stab me in the back like this? You don't have to ask yourself rhetorical questions that might, at the end of the day, not have answers that comfort you. It is imperative for you to weed out disloyal people very quickly in your life so that you will protect yourself from the hurt that comes with it. Because disloyal people will tend eventually to destroy you. Usually these are people that we love. In the Bible, in the book of Exodus chapter 32, we find out in verse 23 that it reads, "For they said unto me, Make us gods, we shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him." This is, I'll term it, a paradox. And it is amusing. Moses has led people out of slavery and is guiding them and leading them into the promised land. But throughout this whole trajectory, he's conferring with the master of the journey, which is God. So he's getting the direction from there, and the people are well aware of it. Now he has gone many days, and people are not patient enough to wait upon somebody that has taken them out of slavery, out of a hard situation. You will notice that in life, there are people, no matter what good you do to them, no matter how much you lay your own life down for them, no matter how much you put your neck down for them, they will always tend to have a very short memory. They forget about all the good that you did and where you took them from. And they will always want to move on with their lives and discard you as a piece of trash that did not even really mean anything to you. You also find out that people wanted to ask the priest then, which was Aaron, to make a god for them, which means they were not only being disloyal to Moses, they were being disloyal even to God. They had forgotten about all the wondrous divine protection and divine provision that he had given them. They were ready to move on. This, especially in the world that we're living in, should not be something that should actually be strange, because you find out that a whole lot of people have become so disloyal to God. It's as if he doesn't exist anymore. He's the one that gave them life, but with their life, they don't show that he exists. He's the one that gives them provision every day, but they don't give him thanks enough for that which he has done to them. There are so many people that are easy to forget. There are people that even insult God, and some that try every time to disprove of his existence. They want to mold their own God, like they wanted to do during the time of Aaron. They were even encouraging him to mold a God for them, a God they made with their own hands. There are so many people that are worshiping things that they do with their own hands. Some worship money, some worship love, some worship professions, Some worship other people, and they are forgetting the source of life, their own life and the life of the people around them. Now you'll find out in the book of 2 Timothy 1 verse 15, Timothy is being told by Paul. Paul says, "This thou knowest, that all they which are in Asia be turned away from me, of whom are Evangelist and Hermogenes." So they were people that had been led by Paul, and he expected in his time of need, inasmuch as he had given himself out for their cause, that they would also be available for him. But they have gone away. They have forgotten about all that he did. And especially these two and the other agents that are in there. So you find out that in relationships, there is great betrayal by people that are disloyal to us. And also in our relationship with God, there are so many people that forget where they come from, and they begin to exhibit this trace of being disloyal and of being cold. Now, you need to understand that usually disloyalty comes from a place of hurt and offense. This we find in the book of Proverbs 18 verse 19. When people are offended by something that they think you might have said or something you might have done, this is fertile ground for disloyalty to thrive. This is the atmosphere. The atmosphere of offense is very ripe atmosphere for people to begin to retaliate and being disloyal to you, because they think maybe you have hurt them, or they feel they have been hurt by what you are supposed to have done, unconsciously or consciously so. You also find out that the second reason why people might be disloyal is because of spiritual immaturity. This you find in the book of 1 Corinthians 3 verse 3. You can be a believer, you can be a saint of so many years, but you are still a spiritual baby, in so much that if something is said doctrinally so, you get offended easily, and you begin to attach yourself or seek accomplice over evil with some people that might be willing to do down a certain person because of the doctrinal difference. And usually this is how deception comes, because they are characters usually that are very easy to convince, or people that are so gullible, they are easy to be convinced. So deception comes because there is no personal conviction. So that's the second reason. The third reason is there are smooth operators in life, whether it's be our Christian walk or whether it's our social walk. There are people that are very smooth. They lure you easily into disloyalty, into starting to disrespect things that you have been valuing or people that you have been valuing, and the loyalty that you've been having to someone is destroyed so easily because of this kind of people, which is very sad, considering that other people might have invested their whole time in you. So disloyal is a process. It's not something that just comes right out of the blue. People begin to show signs, unaware sometimes, that they are being disloyal. The first stage in being disloyal is an independent spirit, a spirit that is breaking rules. People might begin to be disloyal in an organization. You make an agreement, we must do this, we must do that. Then there is one person who says, I won't do that. I seek to do this and this and this. That's the first sign that somebody is being disloyal. The second sign of disloyalty is found in Matthew 24 verse 10. It is being offended. Being offended. The third sign is passivity. Somebody that is just lax on a allow. Somebody that is just relaxed. Somebody that is inactive. Somebody that doesn't want to take part in what others are doing. This is a very dangerous person. This is how disloyalty actually starts there. Somebody who's unconcerned or unmoved. Somebody that is just uninvolved. Very dangerous. This is found in 2 Samuel 18 verse 2. You also find that the stage 4 of disloyalty, which is a critical stage, is the magnifying the fault of someone. Someone starts even spreading things about you and saying, no, you know what, this one has got a weakness in this and this and this. Have you not seen that and all that? This is very dangerous because it will turn very political soon. You find out in the book of Numbers chapter 12, verse 1, Miriam and Aaron are beginning to be disloyal to Moses. They are forgetting who Moses is in the lives of the deliverance of the people of Israel, including themselves, so they think they can just also be. This is a sign of rebellion. Stage 5 of disloyalty is a very political stage, seeking accomplice over evil. You are involving people now into dissing someone or into undoing someone. Stage 6 is deception, being deceived into thinking that you are greater than the person that you are being disloyal to. This is found in the book of Ezekiel 28 verse 14. Thinking that you are greater, you could do better. This is very dangerous. And this is how the devil, how Lucifer became Satan. He thought he was greater than God. And for this reason, this is the root of pride. And for that reason, the devil did not take somebody's wife. The devil did not steal. The devil did not even drink anything alcoholic. The devil did not do any of these sins that some other people now do. The greatest sin was this, thinking that he was greater than God and seeking to lead a rebellion. For that reason, he became the devil. You are treading on very, very thin ice the moment this is something you're exhibiting, or once you begin showing this, you know that you are treading on very thin ice. Stage 7 of disloyalty is open rebellion. The gloves are off. 2 Samuel 16 verse 22. Revelation 12 verse 7. You find out that the action is thick now. Things are happening. The gloves are off and you basically are trying to show and prove that I'm no longer part of who you are or what you are. Then the last stage, stage 8, is execution. You find this in 1 Samuel 15 verse 23. You are now trying to remove the constant reality that has been a tower in your life, that has been a signpost. You are trying to sit yourself in that place. You are trying to show that I'm the top dog, I'm the man, and this one is not. If it's in ministry, you are trying to establish your own ministry apart from somebody's, and usually this does not end well because it comes with bitterness. It is actually a sign of bitterness. And David's son, Absalom, did this, and we know how he ended. Loyalty is based on principles and not emotions. You will also learn that loyalty is rewarded. In 2 Timothy 2:11-13, it is shown how loyalty is rewarded. Without loyalty, your ability to make impact is greatly dented, is greatly eroded. And rebellious people and malignant people usually are cancerous in so much they are toxic and poisonous and should be rooted out as fast as possible. You will notice also that in trying to weed out disloyal people, you should be very careful because they could have had so much impact to the people that might be following them. So they might decide, like the devil took a third of the angels, fallen angels. They might go away with a fraction of people, or they might go away with people that believed in you in the first place. If you're being disloyal to God and your masters, it's not something that is new under the sun, for there is nothing that is new under the sun. We have got quite a lot of people that were disloyal to God and disloyal to their masters. The end was not good. King Solomon is one. The children of Israel. Then Gehazi was disloyal to his master. You find out that Joab, the commander of David's army, he was disloyal in so much that he was running a parallel kingdom. At one time, he even challenges David, come over, we were about to take a city, because if we take this city, it will be ascribed to me, and people will give me the props. The other time, King David seeks to make peace, but Joab kills the man that David has made peace with. It could have degenerated and escalated into a civil war. Fortunately, it didn't turn out this way. So disloyal people will create battles for you. Sometimes you will even spend time trying to smother the smoke and the fire that they have created there. You find out that a few kings in Judah also were very disloyal to God. And lastly, Demas was also disloyal to Apostle Paul. And he decries this dastardly act by Demas. Here are the consequences of being disloyal. It's separation from God's presence, definitely. You also find out that another one is you lose your call and your destiny. The third one is you lose your covenant with God. So once you begin to notice that somebody has been disloyal, already you have got the signs. And some of them are very subtle. You find out that sometimes it's not easy to notice that somebody is becoming disloyal to you. But you could, with time, train yourself to realize or to notice disloyal people. Sometimes it might be that people are not absent in meetings. You're having meetings, somebody is not there. Just subtle like that. Sometimes somebody just disappoints you, give them a task to do, they don't do it. It's a sign of disloyalty. Sometimes a leader or a friend is showing constant signs of immorality. You know that person really will be disloyal, or has got a financial weakness, or is worldly somehow. A person who seeks always to involve himself in worldly things, you know that person is disloyal or can be disloyal at any time. And those that are easily irritated or are reactionary, you have said on something, they are temperamental. Some of them, they're very reactive. They begin even to do some things that you did not expect them to do. They think that you are talking about them, or they are easily anchored, easily emotional. That person is dangerous. They are very disloyal. Or somebody that doesn't keep their promise. Somebody doesn't keep a promise. You know that person is very disloyal. Or somebody who is very power hungry. There are many people you find out that seek to have power, that seek to have influence. It's no matter what's the cost, they always seek to be the man. They always seek to be in the front, to be noticed. Those people are usually very dangerous. They can easily turn disloyal. And a person who seeks validation, never seek validation, because validation is an external motivator. Be intrinsically motivated. Many people that seek validation, many people that seek likes on social media, many people that thrive on comments, many people that thrive on other people saying good about them. Usually those people will tend to be very disloyal. And people that are constantly shifting blame. I'm not the reason for this. The reason for this is that one. I'm not. Those people are very disloyal. Let's go to the relationships. There are people that prove very disloyal in relationships, everyday relationships. And if somebody undermines you and doesn't respect you, that's a very early sign that somebody will be disloyal, and somebody can be very disloyal to you. And if somebody won't think long term with you, that's a very good sign that somebody can and will be very disloyal. Somebody that has cheated before and has not repented and is still showing some signs of immorality, that somebody can be very disloyal and can even hurt you eventually. And somebody who puts not enough of their energy into a relationship, there's always this reason or the other why they're not putting enough energy in that relationship. You know that somebody is disloyal. Otherwise, there are people that he's being loyal to or she is being loyal to. And you also find out that people that flirt a lot, it's easy for them to be very disloyal. It's easy for them to be carried along by the tides or by the wind. And lastly, people that downplay a relationship that you have. By downplaying, we mean that somebody could not even introduce you to people that matter to them. Somebody does not take your relationship very seriously. Somebody seeks your relationship to be that private. Somebody doesn't mention you, doesn't want you to be known, where in sake of that they are known. It's very easy for that somebody to be very disloyal to you. Disloyalty at the end of the day is something that is very potent in destroying relationships. There are people that have killed each other because one proved to be very disloyal. There are people that have come so near other people, they knew everything about someone, and they ended up using that against that somebody when they were tempted to be disloyal. You need to be careful. You need to watch these signs early of disloyalty. And to disloyal people, we always need to be checking ourselves out. What is this that is creeping into me? Would I like this if somebody could do this to me? If you ask yourself such questions, you'll find out that in as much as you don't want somebody to be disloyal to you, you wouldn't also want to be disloyal to somebody, mostly so after somebody has given you their whole trust and somebody has invested in you, giving you their time and their resources, and somebody has been good to you. Somebody has done nothing but just done right. There are cases where other people might feel betrayed by other people, but remember the good that other people have done for you before you try to be disloyal to them. Remember the times when they went all out of their way so that they could be loyal to you, or that they could show you that they cared for you, they loved you. Before you are disloyal to somebody, ask yourself these questions and think of the consequences before you do it. Have a blessed day. Thank you.